welcome to Applegate. Today we're going to be building an airport utilizing the airport's DLC. Why, you ask? To prepare for future traffic congestion. You see, our city's got two issues right now with our future plan. One is, as you can see from these images on screen, that our intercity transit is almost at capacity. So if we go ahead and keep moving forward with our city's plan of adding a bunch of tourism, these are going to fill up. And when those are full, we're going to see a lot more people driving into the city, which is going to bog down our streets, bog down our highways, and it's just not going to be pretty. So the airport that we're going to add will be adding capacity for that. Just so that way, no matter how much more tourism we add, it'll be able to handle it. The second issue we have is actually the distance of the tourism island on the left from the peninsula on the right. I know geographically it doesn't quite look like it's that far away. It looks like they're neighbors, they're right there. One quick ferry ride or helicopter or blimp ride or something. But I don't want to add in the ferry over here. Or actually, I'm not quite sure if I want to do the helicopter either. But we'll see in the future, so... But pretty much what I was thinking is you could see the highway, how it starts from the center of this peninsula over here where all of our intercity options are. And then it goes all the way around the edge of the city here until it finally gets to the island. And I think that distance is so far that people would instead choose to drive into the city on the highway instead of taking those intercity methods. And so what I'm thinking is if we place the airport somewhere over here, I'm thinking around this little hill, right? Hold on a second here. Sorry about that. My computer did something weird there. I'm glad you guys weren't able to see it though. But anyways, I'm thinking about putting an airport somewhere around this hill over here. I'm thinking of having the main taxiway on this side, and then maybe over here we could fill in with some props just to build the airport's attractiveness. Maybe with some parked planes, some hangars. Who knows? I don't want to think too much about it right now because we don't need to. And so yeah, that's what I'm thinking. We're going to have two issues, transportation capacity as well as the distance of intercity travel from the island. I don't think that this location is perfect for the airport. I think it is still a bit too far from the island on the highway. But I think if we add a faster mode of transportation in, maybe something that takes advantage of our current rail lines, we can bring something over here and have it cross the river over onto the island and down into here to help move people around just a little bit better. But it definitely is better than all the options that we have over here, so yeah, I think without further ado, we should probably get into actually building the airport. Alright, so the first order of business is actually going to be the airport district itself. And this is pretty much how we're going to map out where we want everything. I did say that I know that I want the airport or the runway itself to be right here between these hills. And I know that we're actually going to need to push up into them just a little bit here to fit in things like the concourses, as well as any sort of not attraction, but the things that build attractiveness, like the parked planes, what are they called? The hangars, things like that. And I think all of that can go, well, not all of it, but a good majority of it can go right in here. We could take this, bring it down right under the base of this hill here, and then we could fill in this whole area. Oops, I did not mean to go that far. My bad. But we could fill in all over here with some more of the taxiways and even more of the parked planes. Make it look like a place where, I don't know, maybe the airlines can store their planes or something. I don't know. Maybe they're like mechanic hangars. I don't know. And then we can bring some more over here. And I was thinking that over here is where we could have both of our terminal, our bus terminal, and the when we finally do reach the level 3 airport, the gosh, I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. The headquarters. So that way we can start earning some money from this. And I think that's a good district as any. I'm not going to bore you with all the details of smoothifying this or what is his name? What does he say? I think it's Biffa who says smoothify. Actually, you know what? I will kind of bore you with it a little bit, but we're just going to take our soften terrain tools and push this out. Just that way we don't have all these nasty cliffs. You don't really have to worry too much with the airport. The airport tool pushes this back and away on its own, but it doesn't stop you from putting a hill right in the middle of your own airport if you really want to. So these cliffs aren't permanent. You don't have to push them back. You can actually pull them in, which is exactly what I'm going to do over here. And just like that, I'd say it looks pretty much as good as new. I don't think I have any room to complain. And so this is where we're actually going to want to think about going, where I actually like to think about building things backwards. When you first open this tab down here up and you go into your airport areas, the only thing you could put down is the terminal. That's where they want you to start. But I don't like that idea, so I'm just going to put one down and delete it. Oh, I didn't leave it down long enough for us to unlock everything. There we go. Now that we've unlocked everything, I can delete it. And you can see we got a whole bunch of fancy stuff, but we're not concerned about any of that just yet. Right now, we want to think about our runway. I know I want the runway to take off in this direction, so that way the planes are taking off over empty land and water. In case they fail at taking off or something, they have a... Hopefully they can make it to the water. And then they're going to be coming down over this industry. There's going to be a little bit of what looks to be like office and commercial in the way here. I promise you I didn't plan that out. It just kind of worked out that way, which is kind of nice. But one thing we're going to want to consider is the distance from the rail line, because we do have to leave room for the train tracks itself. If we're going to be using the airport's DLC train attachment, we're going to want to leave enough room between the start of the runway and that. You know, I'm thinking that looks pretty decent, at least decent enough for me. I don't know about you, but I'm happy. Oh my goodness. I pushed it out just a little bit. I didn't realize it would cut that far into the hill. There we go. Back to good as new. Now with this, we're going to put down our little taxiways here. I'm not going to be too concerned about anything. We're just going to throw them down here, just like that. This side's not going to have any sort of concourse or anything like that. This is going to be purely for decoration. However, this side over here is definitely going to be where we have our concourse. We're going to have to probably demolish a lot of this. I don't know how well we'll be able to fit all of this stuff in here, but we're going to do our best. I'm thinking if we start maybe a little beyond 20 units. If we start maybe... we're going to have to actually push this out a little bit further. I was not accurate in my painting here. That's okay. Nothing a little terrain tools can't fix here. And realistically, they'd probably do some major landscaping like this anyways. At least I assume so. Well, actually, I assume they put the airport somewhere where they don't have to do any of this, but it is what it is. So I'm going to start about 25 units out. We're going to go all the way... What the heck? Oh, are you kidding me? We still aren't quite out of the woodworks just yet. We have to bring that back again. My goodness, one of these days I will be able to get things first try. But today is not that day. Alright, I just happened to cut until it was done. That was a little bit frustrating, having to go back and demolish and level terrain and push things back. And finally I just left it all cliffed like this all the way around until I put this down, and then I terraformed around it. But it looks fine now. At least I think so. I have no problem with it. Now on this side is the only place where I'm going to put down one of these... What are these things called? Classic control towers. These are definitely not worth the price to the attractiveness, but I like a little added bit of realism with a control tower, so I think I'm going to go ahead and put this down right at the very end over here. I am going to turn it off right away though, because we don't need to be spending money on this. And then this is when we're going to go through with our, what are these called? Small aircraft stands. We want, I don't know how many we want, but I want 3. So I'm going to go ahead and put down a few. I'm just going to space them out just a little bit. I don't think we need these things right up next to each other. I think we can give them a little bit of room, something like that. Now we have 3 of them here. I want to leave adequate room going down this runway for 3 of the medium as well as 3 of the large. I don't know how successful we'll be at that, but we can go ahead and do our best. And we'll get there when we get there. If we happen to not be able to fit 3 large, because I think we do have to leave room for the train station, but either way, we'll find out when we get there. We're going to want to connect all this up with some of our runways again. We can just do something like that and then bring these over. Something simple, something quick. Bring it down just like that. And I think that'll be perfectly good. For now, at least. But here's when we're going to want to put down our concourse. Or not concourse, what is this? Classic airport terminal. This is the one I'm going to go with. I think it's perfectly fine. I kind of want to push this back a little ways just to make sure our terrain's not all ugly and in the way, which it is. We'll push all this land back just a little bit here. What the? Why is there a plane taking off? Why are there planes here? Do these even have passengers on them, or are these just show? 0 out of 50, 0 out of 50. We just had 1 take off, 0 out of 50. Does the airport's DLC just have planes that land and take off for no good reason? I don't quite understand. Oh well. So here is where I think we want to have our concourse come straight down just a little bit further, maybe right about there. And then we can bring it off. I'm thinking, actually, if we bring it down like that, can we bring another concourse off this way? We can, actually. That is pretty neat. I like that a lot, actually, because maybe this will allow us to put the... Maybe we could squeeze in this bus terminal over here. And then we'd, in the future, be able to squeeze the train terminal right over here. And I think that would leave us enough room all the way down for all the aircraft stands that we want. At least I'm hoping so. But we still need the terminal. The classic airport terminal. Why does it not just attach at a 90? A little bit confusing, but that is okay. Ooh, but that is actually too close. So we're actually going to need to extend the concourse just a little bit more. Let's go by another 10. I think that'll be fine. Then we can go like that. And you know what? I think we could just go ahead and turn this back on. We're making enough money to just cover these costs here. But now is when we want to think about our road layout. I'm thinking we're going to want to upgrade this middle one to a 4-unit wide road. And then we're going to want to rethink this whole little bridge here. Or maybe we're going to want to continue the bridge straight across until it crosses this rail line. And then we can maybe curve it down and around up into this. And then we can have kind of like a loop or something. Maybe 2 loops here, one for the terminal and one for the airport bus station. And then it can come back, connect back around into itself, then come over here. And if any point where we want to put down like the airport headquarters or anything like that, we have enough room for it. So I'm not going to bore you with the roads, but I am going to make one note here for the train, is because I know that I want to have a train line in the future over here, I'm just going to go ahead and put that down now, just that way we know that when we're building the road over, we have adequate space there. Actually, I should probably do it all along until maybe right around over here or so. I think right about there. So yeah, I will be right back. I'm just going to go ahead and get this all hooked up. All right, here we are. I've got the roads all set up and looking nice. The only thing missing right now is our bus lines from here. And so I was thinking for now, we just go super simple. Say, for instance, a bus line from here out and over to the nature reserve. Doesn't look like we have a bus stop there, so let's go ahead and add that there. Bring it back, complete the line. But this is where we want to be a little bit careful. We're going to open this up, look at the newest ones. See, it has 18 buses on the line. That is not what we want. The first thing we're going to do is actually change this to the double-decker airport bus. I think it's very fitting. It's an airport bus makes sense. The double-decker will give it that 60 capacity without giving it the articulation or the articulated bus. I don't know what it's called or how you're supposed to say it, but the extra long bus that takes up a lot of room on the road. We can keep it pretty singular with this. And then we can probably get away with dropping this down to maybe 4 or 5. Let's try 5 for now, and then later on, once we're done setting up all the routes, I'll go back and readjust to make sure we have the correct number. Yet again, from the airport, I'm going to go over here, maybe right about there or so. Bring this all the way back over to the airport, connect it up. One more, and I'm going to have, or actually we're going to do another one. I'm thinking of having this one come over here and stop right in front of the hotel, right next to this other bus stop here. That'll take them to the train station. Complete the line, and then I think I'd like one last stop, and I was thinking right over here because we have one more little space for a bus stop here in our little central transportation hub here. Bring this back over, complete the line, and I think for now that's good. We have our nature reserve. Oh no, we do not. So I'm actually going to scooch this one over because we have one more tourist spot we can fit in. And then it's all the way over here into the end of the peninsula. And I'm thinking right here, right next to these tram stops. Bring it all the way back. Connect it up, and I think that covers just about everything, about all the areas we'd want to cover. So we have our airport, we have all the stops that they can go to. Now I'm going to go through and micromanage all the bus stops, and I will be right back. Alright, so I've set up our bus lines over here, and I've even thrown down a couple more taxi depots, which apparently are needed because immediately both of them sent out all of their taxis. And I think the only thing we're left waiting for here is... Whoops. I don't know why I zoomed this all in there. And it looks like we've actually achieved it. It looks like... Oh, no. It looks like we're still waiting for some of these lines to unbunch. But... or unaccordion. Whatever fancy word you want to use. It looks like that's all we're waiting for now. And surprisingly, I think... Is it this one here? I think this one is our most popular route. And it's the one right over in the... little transportation hub over here, which is kind of strange. I didn't think that all of our low density neighborhoods over here would want to use the airport to get in and out of town. And because of that, I actually added in, I think, another line where it goes from here and then over into our high density neighborhood. And it appears if we look at it, that is actually the second most, it's probably tied for second, the second most desirable route. Which in my opinion is kind of strange, but it is what it is. I guess our people really want to get out of town or get back into town or something. Who knows? But that's that. I mean, technically this is all we really need. This essentially fills out everything that we were missing. Not quite though. Actually, we actually do need to reach level 3 in order to utilize the train station here. As you can kind of see, I kind of started to lay the groundwork over here to implement the airport train attachment, but I didn't quite get there because obviously we're not level 3 yet. And I think that's actually going to be the final piece that we actually need. So I thought I was done, or we could have left off here, but apparently not. And so pretty much what we're going to do now is just decorate the airport. So if we go back in here, I'm actually going to go ahead and take our taxiways, and I'm going to go ahead and bring it off from over here. I'm going to use our freeform tool here, and I want to leave some space by the railroad tracks here again. And once we do, I want to come in perfectly straight. I guess it doesn't really have to be perfectly straight, but it can be whatever you'd like it to be. And then I'm going to come in through here, maybe a little bit further, maybe right about here. Then I'm going to come over and then back down, and I'll hook it up just like that. And then this can be our little area where we can put down things like hangars and parked planes and whatnot. I think it would be kind of nice. I think it would really add that last little bit of, I don't know if that's realism or actually, little bit of detail, I'll say. I think that's probably a more fitting thing. Or maybe we could put down a couple parked planes. We're going to want to use more of the parked planes than anything else because these are the cheapest option that adds attractiveness. If you see, this only costs 12 a week for 20 attractiveness. Meanwhile, the hangar over here costs 80 a week for 40. As you can tell, this one is less than $1 per attractiveness. It's like 50 cents. And this one is over $1 per attractiveness. And it's like that all throughout and all the way up into level 3. Pretty much, you want to do as few hangars as possible and as many parked planes as you can. But just slapping down a whole bunch of parked planes, that seems kind of lame. That doesn't seem very fun. And look at that, there you go, we got level 2. So now we can actually put down some medium hangars, as well as what looks like an aviation fuel station and an airline lounge. So the airline lounge is similar to the control tower, where it doesn't do anything, just costs you a lot of money for nothing really in return. And I actually just only want to add that for kind of like a realism thing. Not really realism, but just to feel like my airport's starting to round out. And I think the next thing we probably really want to do is actually put down the medium plane stands. I'm actually going to give this a little bit of room in between here. I'd say maybe right about there looks perfectly fine. And then that's when we're going to start coming through and put down our 3 of these. Something like that. But we're going to want to connect these up. And I'm thinking, let's see here. I wonder why it's not letting me. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this real quick. Right there, just like that. There we go. Oh, it's not going to do it again. Interesting. I think something like that would be perfectly fine. Where now we have some medium stands. We have some small stands. They don't really conflict with each other all too much. They can, but hopefully they won't. It looks like we already have a medium plane already. It's about to take off with 7 people on the whole dang thing. Seems like quite the waste. That's okay. Let's get back over here and continue with our fancy fandangled decorations. Actually, I won't bore you with over here. I think you get the picture. I'm just going to put down hangars and small planes. And we'll pretend this is like a little maintenance area or something. Maybe that's one of our specialties here that we teach at our trade school is plane maintenance, aviation maintenance, who knows. But over here, this is where I kind of want to add to that feel of, I guess not really realism, but to that feel of, gosh, I don't know why I can't really think of the word right now. But we're going to put down the medium stuff over here. Bunch of the mediums, medium planes, medium hangar. Oh, actually, I suppose there's only small and large hangars. That's okay. We don't need medium hangars. The larges do just fine. We can do something like that, but I want to add in this. What is this called? Aviation fuel station. That almost rhymes. But we could do something like this. Just continue adding to our airport attractiveness here. And I'm thinking that looks perfectly fine over here as well. Let's see what our attractiveness is at now. We are at 6,900 out of 1,000. So I'm actually aiming to go way over 1,000. I want to see if having a very attractive airport brings in a whole lot of people. So I guess I will stop at around 1,000, let it run for a little while, show you guys where it's at, and then I'll go ahead and finish it all out and then show it to you again. So I'll be right back. That's pretty much the gist of it. I'm not really gonna do anything crazy or anything extra from here. That's pretty much it. Little maintenance area or something like that. And then you got the whole refueling and parking and whatnot over here. So yeah, I will be right back. All right, here we are, level 3 airport. I'm only breaking now because I completely forgot that I was supposed to add in one asset, or whatever it's called. If I could find it, right here. The airline lounge. So I was thinking about putting a couple of these over here. One right behind the terminal, and one right behind the bus station over here. Maybe, just to be kind of nice to people, let's put one at least about halfway through over here. Let's try and make it in line with one of these runways, or how about right in between the large and the... What in the world? How come I can't put it there? Again? Really? My goodness. Put it right here, and we'll put it between the medium and the large. These are really expensive, as you can see, $640 per week. For how much does it give us? Only 60 attractiveness. That's crazy. It's ridiculous. Under no circumstances should you be placing these, in my opinion. But I like them. They kind of look nice. That's that, and we can actually add in our large aircraft stands now. Where are these at? Right over here. So same thing as the small to medium, how we left that little bit of space. I'm going to leave a little bit of gap over here as well. I'm thinking right there looks perfectly fine. Same thing, a little bit of a gap between these aircraft stands. Nothing too crazy. I think that looks perfectly fine. And I'm actually surprised. I was not expecting to be able to fit all of these in here. And because these ones are large, I don't think I'll come in at a perfect straight angle. You could probably do something just like that. And I think that looks perfectly acceptable. And now I'm going to let this run for a little while. I'm going to see how many... Oh my goodness, already large planes popping off. 27 already. 2 empty. Oh well. Oh, that actually means that we have access to the train station, I believe. Where is it at? Yeah, right here. Let's see here. And it immediately... Wow, okay, it looks like I got really lucky with my rail placement here. Yeah, alright, cool. That is immediately in effect. I think the only thing we have to do now is connect it up to the other direction, so that way when we do have our other train line, or whatever you want to call it, I'm not quite sure. Other train line. Why am I forgetting my words right now? When we hook it up to the island over here, we need the train line to go in the other direction. That's what I was trying to say. So let's go ahead and take care of that now, I guess. I guess now is a perfectly good time. We'll go ahead something like that, and then this is where we're going to want to kind of bring it around and then hook it up. And maybe, if we did things just right... Nope, we did not. But we can use our curved road tool here. Hook it up just like that. And that should be good. And if we click on this, you can see it allows intercity trains, which this is good because sometimes you might notice people come through your airport that don't want to have anything to do with your city. They're just using your airport to get to their city or their neighboring city. And so by having this intercity train station here, we just immediately process those people without having them jump out into their cars and driving away. But we do want to think about our first train line in the city. So we can go ahead, and I'm not going to start it here, because if you start it there, I believe it starts on the left side or the outside or something. I can't remember. But we're going to start it here, and then we're going to bring it all the way over here to our airport, place it down in, and you can see now it's on the right hand side, which is exactly where we want it. So when we start the other line, the one that goes to the island, we want to start from the airport, so that way it's on the opposite side of this little rail here. And then we go ahead and complete our line. Just like that. And now I'm going to pause the game because I don't want it to spawn trains yet. I want to go to our train overview. Oh my goodness. I think we can get away with 1 or 2 trains. I'm going to go ahead and go with 2 just in case. And I'm going to set this to the Airport Express train. Airport Express train. Actually, you know what? Let's just go with 1 train. Keep the budget absolutely minimal. I think that should be perfectly fine. And there we go. Now I'm going to let it run for a while. As you can see, we are quite expensive right now, about 9,000. Looks like we get a weekly passenger of 636 at about 1180. How did it just jump up? Oh, I think because we added the airline lounges. Well, at about 1100, we get about 600 weekly passengers. I'm going to let it run for a while, see what it is, turn on a whole bunch, and I'll get back to you with the numbers. Alright, so I've been sitting here, I watched it for a while, then I activated all the stuff. That 600 we saw was actually the high end of that. It got down to about 200 and it went up and down in between. And then, as you can see now, it's a 200 again, which is a little concerning because I've just upped it all to about 1700 in attractiveness. And now the high's definitely gone up. It went up to about 900 for a couple weeks, and now it's back down to 200 again, but I hadn't seen 200 in a while. So I wonder what causes it to dip down so low. I have a few theories, but I'll go ahead and talk about them later. For now, I want to finish out the airport. The last thing that we have to do is to put down the unique building. The, what's it called again? The airport headquarters. That way we can create our own airline. And if you saw when I had clicked on the airport here, its expenses are about 10 grand a week. I don't know if we'll be able to catch up to that at all, considering how little that almost doubling our attractiveness, it barely added anything. And that's very concerning. But it is what it is, and we will have to deal with it. But I'm thinking somewhere right over here is going to be perfectly fine for our headquarters. It doesn't look like it would be in the way of the runway at all. It looks like it's decently fine over here. In fact, it might actually increase the usage of this particular airport. So this is what I was thinking of, is that... Oops, wrong button. So basically what I was thinking of is in the city of Westdale, the airport is far more successful than this one is, like way more successful. And I was sitting here trying to think, like, okay, why is that one so successful? Why is this one not having so many weekly passengers? And I think it has to do with location. In Westdale, the airport is directly outside of an amusement park, tourism commercial, leisure commercial, and unique buildings, several unique buildings. And I think that's playing a huge part into that particular airport. And I think this airport is being hindered by its far out location. So I would have to guess that is why Westdale's airport is so successful, despite it having half the tourists that this city has already. And it is concerning, but you know what? I think it's going to be okay. I think maybe I can, let's get back into game here. Maybe we can put down a few more unique buildings right outside of this airport here. Maybe some tourism commercial to look like hotels. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of how we can get more people to use this airport, because this is nowhere near the amount that, look at that, weekly passengers 100. That's unheard of. And I just remembered something else. In Westdale, that particular, its major attraction is an amusement park, which is not date-based. That is 100% uptime all the time. People are always going. There's no like once a year event like this city's, what's it called, concert venue and stadiums. So I think that's actually another thing that's playing into the airport, why we saw it just now at 100 weekly passengers, because that's not something I see in Westdale. So I think when we add the zoo in the future, we're probably going to want to make that the main park and really up its attractiveness. And hopefully that stream of tourists will then cause this airport to be far more successful. But as of right now, this is just a money sink. And so let's go ahead, and I'll go ahead and just extend a little bit of a road past this, not too far. We just need to be able to get around it, which we failed at just now, but that's okay. We'll just go ahead and sneak it back over here, and we'll take a look at some of the unique buildings here. I don't think we should, I kind of want to use a higher level unique building, because maybe the attractiveness and the combination of the attractiveness and capacity might actually be what our city could use, or not our city, but what the airport could use. So if we come in here and we look at this Museum of Modern whatever, wow, okay, that fits a lot better than I thought it would. It fits perfectly almost. So we could sit it right there, right behind the airport headquarters. What is this called? Modern Art Museum? Oh, well, we need some water. My bad. All right, well, we got at the water. We got a couple unique buildings in here. I wonder if we could put down another one and still be okay I don't think we want to do this cathedral. This is really tall, especially for an airport. This one might be kind of neat. What is it? It is a stadium. Bring the excitement. Maybe we can pretend this one, because this one to me doesn't look like a stadium. This looks like a, a convention center. And maybe that makes sense because it's right next to the airport over here. Oh my goodness, that's 4,000 a week. What's its capacity? Only 150? Oh, but its visitor capacity is 600. My goodness. Well, at least they're all right here, right next to a bus hub, taxis, and an airport. But that's going to be a bit nerve-wracking, but hey, it is what it is. In fact, actually, let's see what that did to our attractiveness. It looks like it's bumped us up. What is that? I can't remember what we were and what our attractiveness was before. But it looks like it's bumped us up just a few percent. And let's see here. Whoa, all right, pausing. 15 grand in income right now. So, oh, but we're at the weekly passengers of about 900, which is the cap that we had before. Let's go ahead and change the name now that we're here, now that we're thinking about it. I'm thinking about calling this Apple Air. Maybe we can give this the little palm tree and island logo, since, you know, it's kind of what we are. And to maybe match our already existing logo, we could probably go with some red over here. Let's go with the full dark red here. Something like that. I'm thinking that looks pretty cool. And look at that, we got one of the planes over here already. Got a little logo on the tail, all painted red. Looks nice. And yeah, my goodness. And projected income is still 1,500. Oh, but we're still in the 900 a week or something like that. But yeah, I'm thinking this looks pretty good. And I'm thinking the only thing we have left to do is some detailing, and I'm thinking it's pretty great. Once we're in the future and we're able to buy this island and do all that stuff, that's when we'll be able to put in the last train line to take people over there. But I don't want to do that yet, and that's not going to be next episode. Next episode is actually going to be residential, because as you can see down at the bottom here, right down over there, you can see that our residential demand is actually very low, and so is our industrial demand. I was trying to build this up, but it didn't look like the airport really added too much residential demand, not as much as I hoped it would, and that's okay. Hope you enjoyed. I had fun building the airport, and yeah, I hope to see you in the future. I didn't write down a haiku this time, so I'm sorry, but it is what it is, and I'll see you later. Bye for now.